internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. It is looking very good for XRP holders. That's all I gotta say. Every single topic that we have been discussing in the past years, it's all starting to happen. And I even told you this in 2021, and Mr. Trump is telling you in 2024.
And this is where stuff are going to get interesting. There's a reason why the SEC is suing Ripple, because they are behind in technology and innovation. Ripple is their only last hope to compete with China, okay? Because China is way ahead of the game, and especially with BRICS forming. And
if we don't embrace crypto and Bitcoin technology, China will, other countries will, they'll dominate, and we cannot let China dominate. They are making too much progress as it is. And
yes, we are way ahead of the game. Just like how we're calling for a 10, 20, 30, $100 XRP will happen 100%. And 4 years from now, 8 years from now, we will be out here on this journey documenting the whole revolution of the financial infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Sit back, relax. This is absolutely insane. We're going to get into Circle, USDC, and their IPO valuation. And look at this. Russia to allow crypto payments in international trade to counter sanctions. This was just uploaded 2 hours ago. And they went on to say the new law will not lift an existing ban on cryptocurrency payments inside Russia. The central bank said delays in payments have become a major challenge for Russian economy, leading to an 8% decline in Russian imports in the second quarter of 2024. Despite Russia's effort to switch to currencies of its trade partners and develop an alternative payment system within the BRICS group of emerging economies, many payments are still conducted in dollars and euros and go through the international SWIFT system. So it is still being utilized.
Sitting in correspondent banking in Nostro accounts, as they call them, and waiting for payment instructions. So then we used a digital asset. We focused on XRP as this bridge currency, again, not trying to replace fiat on either side, but it's just trying to make the movement of the capital move at the same time the message moved. So again, not a replacement of the old system, well, in some ways a replacement of what a lot of SWIFT was doing, but it's still
in dollars and euros and go through the international SWIFT system.
So again, not a replacement of the old system, well, in some ways a replacement of what a lot of SWIFT was doing, but it's still, so again, not a replacement of the old system, well, in some ways a replacement of what a lot of SWIFT was doing, but it's still.
Remember this video in 2021. Take a listen to what was said, and we have been calling this for a very long time, and we said it's going to take time. Something like this doesn't happen overnight, and this is a prime example of time will settle all arguments.
Was establishing this. Step two is what's being discussed now, which is the payment processing system. So really what they're competing with is the SWIFT bank system, right? So right now, if you're sending money overseas from a U.S. bank, you have to use, or any Western country, you use that SWIFT system that is set up in Belgium. And that prevents money laundering in theory and all that kind of thing. But what the BRICS nations are doing is saying, well, we don't need to use the SWIFT system because we don't want to be subjected again to U.S. sanctions, because if the U.S. is sanctioning you, you can't move money using that SWIFT system. So what's really interesting is, number one, they're creating a payment system that would go around SWIFT. But how do you do that when you have 5 major countries that all have their own currencies? And one of the ways they're doing that is by using possibly cryptocurrency to do that. That would translate their currencies into a single cryptocurrency that is then used through the system and then formulated, I guess, when it gets into their country, back into their own personal currency. So essentially you're taking currency from one, sending it through as a cryptocurrency, and then back on the other end into transforming it into another currency. And that allows them, again, to get around this SWIFT system in a way that no one had really thought about in the past, because crypto already has all of those things.
Now we're in 2024 and they're accelerating everything. Accelerating everything, yes. Even the SEC came out today and filed this. And remember the whole dilemma of them labeling Cardano, Solana, all these assets as securities? Well, they just came out and said the SEC informed defendants that it intends to seek leave to amend its compliance, including with respect to the third-party crypto asset securities. So they're gonna hold off on that. And even Mr. Brad Garlinghouse had a little tweet about it when this came out, right? You're gonna drag Ripple for years, and now it's incredible. That's all I gotta say, because they were calling them securities just last year. But do you remember this PDF that Russia released? Foreign and Russian experience of blockchain digitalization by central banks, financial and technology companies. And this is when they were looking for a new payment system. This is back in 2020. And there's some highlighted points here that I want to show you, which is very important given what was used at the time, right? They went on to say one of the most important conclusions reached by teams from the Bank of Japan and the European Central Bank is the conclusion about the possibility of blockchain technology to meet the requirements of the payment system, including in terms of performance. And keep in mind, when I'm talking about Bank of Japan, the ECB, Ripple is deeply incorporated there, and they're here all working on this together. The test platform successfully handled the processing of payments in a number of comparable to the number of payments made in the Eurozone and Japan. In addition, as a part of the testing, it was found that the size of the distributed network has a strong impact on the system performance. An increase in the number of nodes leads to a significant increase in the payments processing time. The second stage of the project involved the system expansion through the use of Corda, and this is exactly when XRP was, they were reviewing all of this. Elements in Hyperledger Fabric platforms. The ability to transact with the securities was tested both when finding information about the funds and securities in one ledger and in different ones. Within the Bank of England project, the main tasks were to determine the possibility of using the interledger protocol as a technical solution for making interconnected payments in different currencies in different payment systems, analyzing possible scenarios of information processing. And of course, you guys have all seen this, maybe some of you guys have not. And then they went on to go mention, based on the research results, it was concluded that the Ripple platform can be considered as the basis for starting work on creating a system of cross-border settlements, providing that the following organizational, legal, and technical issues are resolved. And they mentioned use of embedded cryptographic solutions on the Ripple network, development of a procedure for determining cross rates for internal currency of Ripple XRP when deciding to use XRP in interstate settlements. Do you see that? Interstate settlements between, it's going from currency A to currency C and then C to B. If you guys remember that, I know you guys are all, you know that part. Maintaining correspondence directories between the addresses of the accounts of the Ripple network participants and the accounts of the banks they serve in national payment systems. Remember, this network is going to be the driver here in terms of onboarding new institutions onto the Ripple network. And that's what's going to make it very attractive, because you're going to have all these, regulated entities utilizing the platform, and, the sky's the limit after that. And now we're going to finish off the video by Circle's evaluation. Circle's set to be trading around $5 billion valuation ahead of its planned IPO. And this is very important because you guys are all familiar that Ripple is going to be announcing their Ripple USDC, RLUSD. And what separates, Circle and Ripple is Ripple also has an infrastructure that can, scale other assets and merge, and they're all compatible and they can work together. So Ripple has its infrastructure and also its USD coin now. So Ripple's valuation in the future is going to be a very, very large amount. And, that's very bullish for the whole ecosystem. You know, you want good infrastructures like this. You know, this is very, very important that you guys understand. Everybody should be preaching Ripple and thanking Ripple because they are the only company, in my opinion, that pretty much set the standard. That's probably the best way to say it. These guys were the face of crypto. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Remember, time will settle everything. Patience will be rewarded very handsomely. And we will be back with another video.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.